Ceramic and stone tiles are the ideal surface coverings because they're beautiful, durable, hygienic, and easy to maintain. However, concerns over cracking can be a barrier to the selection of tile as a floor covering. The Schluter-DITRA uncoupling membrane is specifically designed to allow the installation of ceramic and stone tile over any even and load-bearing substrate. DITRA performs 4 essential functions to help ensure success. Uncoupling allows the tile and substrate to move independently and neutralizes stresses that could otherwise cause cracked tile and grout. Waterproofing protects common moisture-sensitive building materials like plywood, OSB, and gypsum. Vapor management protects the tile assembly from the effects of residual moisture in the substrate. And support ensures the tile covering will remain intact when exposed to traffic. The integration of DITRA's uncoupling, waterproofing, vapor management, and support functions makes it the universal underlayment for ceramic and stone tile. In addition to the functional benefits, DITRA is a practical solution that fits the needs of the installer. DITRA is lightweight, only 40 pounds per 323 square foot roll. This makes it easy to handle and transport to the job site. DITRA is installed as quickly as you can spread thin-set mortar and requires no special tools or fasteners. Tile can be set immediately over the DITRA membrane, thus saving time on projects. With over 25 years as the industry leader in uncoupling technology, DITRA continues to provide successful, long-lasting tile installations. Visit Schluter.com for more information on the full product line. Have you ever visited a centuries-old cathedral and wondered how the tile floors installed hundreds of years ago are still intact today? The secret is a layer of tamped sand placed between the structure and the tile assembly. The sand allowed the tile covering to move independently from the substrate. This uncoupling of the 2 layers prevented movement in the substrate from producing damaging stresses in the tile. In addition, the sand effectively distributed heavy loads to support the tile covering. The combination of uncoupling and support ensured lasting installations. A more recent installation method that functioned on the same principles is the wire-reinforced mortar bed over a slip sheet or cleavage membrane. In these applications, the cleavage membranes allowed for independent movement between the tile and the substrate, while the mortar bed provided the necessary support. Building practices and tile installation methods have changed considerably since the sand strata method was commonly used. The most fundamental change in the tile industry was the introduction of thin-set mortars in the 1960s. Originally designed to be used as bond coats in conjunction with the mortar bed method, these materials were eventually used to bond tiles directly to the substrate. Although the direct bond method was convenient and allowed thinner and lighter tile assemblies, the benefits of uncoupling were lost. When the tile is rigidly connected to the structure, movement in the substrate can produce damaging stresses in the tile covering. Despite the drawbacks, the direct bond method became the standard for tile setting in most of North America. The risks associated with this method increased with the use of large format tiles, heated floor systems, fast-track building methods, and unstable materials such as plywood and OSB. Today, the need for uncoupling is greater than ever. In 1987, Schluter-Systems introduced the DITRA uncoupling and waterproofing membrane in an effort to improve the performance of thin-set tile assemblies. DITRA was configured to provide lateral flexibility to allow independent movement between the tile covering and the substrate. This is the basis for the uncoupling function. The shape of the membrane also ensures proper support for the tile through the columns of mortar formed in the cavities on the top of the matting. DITRA provides reliable tile applications through the ancient wisdom of uncoupling and support, as well as the modern requirements of waterproofing and vapor management, in a method that matches today's building practices and tile installation techniques. Applying centuries' worth of knowledge has helped create long-lasting tile installations with the use of Schluter-DITRA. Schluter-DITRA provides 4 essential functions to address the challenges presented by common tile substrates. DITRA is an uncoupling membrane with a grid structure of cut-back cavities and an anchoring fleece laminated to the underside. The cut-back cavities also create free space within the DITRA. The membrane is bonded to the substrate using thin-set mortar. Tile is installed over the membrane using the thin bed method. The cavities are filled with thin-set mortar, and additional mortar is combed over the top. The tiles are embedded in the mortar and grouted. Now, we'll demonstrate the 4 functions. All floors will expand and contract with changes in moisture content and humidity at a different rate than the tile. DITRA provides uncoupling through its open rib structure, which allows the substrate and the tile to move independently. This prevents the substrate movement from building up stress in the tile covering that could otherwise cause damage, like cracks. Floors will also bend and deflect under load. The uncoupling function prevents this movement from causing damaging stresses in the tile covering as well. Tile coverings are not waterproof. Water can get through the tile covering to the substrate below. DITRA provides reliable waterproofing to protect moisture-sensitive substrates from water exposure. The free space on the underside of DITRA provides a route for excess moisture and vapor to escape from the substrate. DITRA's vapor management function allows for tile installation over concrete cured less than 28 days and concrete on grade-passing vapor. Loads are transferred from the tile covering through column-like mortar structures formed in the membrane to the substrate below. This design ensures tiles are properly supported when exposed to traffic. The integration of uncoupling, waterproofing, vapor management, and support addresses the challenges presented by common tile substrates, such as plywood, OSB, concrete, and gypsum. This makes DITRA the universal underlayment for ceramic and stone tile. The combination of DITRA's 4 functions allows for the installation of ceramic and stone tile over almost any even and load-bearing substrate. Typical substrates include plywood and oriented strand board, or OSB, including applications over joists spaced at 24 inches on center, young concrete, cracked concrete, and pre-stressed or post-tensioned concrete, poured gypsum underlayments, and heated floors, including hydronic and electric applications. Details for each of these substrates are contained within the DITRA Installation Handbook. Wood floors are subject to expansion and contraction with changes in moisture content. and will bend and deflect under load. DITRA's uncoupling function protects the tile covering against these potentially damaging movement stresses. Furthermore, DITRA's waterproofing function guards moisture-sensitive wood materials against water infiltration. Schluter-DITRA XL provides the same essential functions as DITRA, but is approximately twice as thick for increased uncoupling capacity. DITRA XL is optimized for use over bending and deflecting substrates, such as plywood and OSB. For example, DITRA XL allows for ceramic tile applications over single-layer plywood or OSB subfloors on joists spaced at 24 inches on center. It also creates an even transition between typical tile and hardwood flooring. Concrete is often thought of as a stable material, but it will expand and contract at twice the rate of tile with changes in temperature. Concrete also shrinks as it cures and dries after placement. These deformations make DITRA's uncoupling function essential. DITRA's vapor management function also enables tile to be installed over young concrete and concrete on grade subject to vapor emissions from below. Similar to concrete, poured gypsum floors will expand and contract faster than tile with changes in temperature. This increases the need for uncoupling to protect the covering against movement stresses. Poured gypsum floors must dry out to gain strength and are sensitive to the reintroduction of moisture. DITRA's waterproofing and vapor management functions address these issues for reliable tile installations over gypsum. Along with the substrate challenges already mentioned, movement stresses are magnified in heated floors, making uncoupling a particularly important feature of the tile assembly. The open channels below the DITRA can also promote even heat distribution to limit the potential for thermal striping. Schluter-Systems also offers DITRA Heat, the only electric floor warming system that directly incorporates uncoupling to prevent cracked tiles and grout. Heating cables can be placed wherever floor warming is desired. Leveling compounds are not required to encapsulate the cables, which makes for a quick and easy installation. The integration of DITRA's uncoupling, waterproofing, vapor management, and support functions provides lasting installations over a wide range of substrates. Schluter-DITRA is specifically designed to allow the installation of ceramic and stone tile over any even and load-bearing substrate. The first step in a successful project is planning. The Schluter-DITRA Installation Handbook includes comprehensive installation guidelines and warranty criteria. The planning process starts by searching for the detail applicable to your project based on the substrate, tile type, and other factors. All requirements in the handbook are important. Please pay close attention to the setting materials and movement joints requirements when planning any DITRA project. After finding the applicable DITRA Installation Handbook detail and confirming that all requirements can be met, we can create a list of materials and quantities. When installing DITRA, the following tools are commonly used: a tape measure, a marker, a utility knife or scissors, buckets, 1/2-inch electric drill and mixing paddle suitable for thin-set mortar, a margin trowel, a DITRA trowel or 1/4 inch by 3/16 V-notch trowel, a wood or magnesium float, a chalk line reel, hairspray, a notched trowel for tile setting, and a grout float. Project planning is now complete. Now we're ready to prepare for the installation. It is important to have a perimeter movement joint throughout the tile assembly. One option, as shown here, is to fasten a strip of sill seal, a compressible polyethylene gasket, to the surrounding walls to ensure a consistent joint along the perimeter. The substrate must be clean, even, and load-bearing. Any leveling of the subfloor must be done prior to installing DITRA. Sweep the floor to remove any debris. Measure and cut the matting using a utility knife or scissors. Clean any dust from the substrate with a damp sponge. Now, we're ready to begin the installation. DITRA is installed simply and easily with thin-set mortar. Any of the Schluter thin-set mortars can be used for installation of the matting over concrete. If you are not using a Schluter mortar, an unmodified thin-set mortar is used to install the matting over concrete. Always verify the proper type of mortar required to install DITRA based on the substrate. The mortar is mixed to a fairly fluid consistency, but still able to hold a notch. A 1/4 inch by 3/16 inch V-notch trowel, or the Schluter-DITRA trowel, which features a 4.5 mm by 4.5 mm square notch design, is used to apply the mortar. Apply a thin layer of the mortar with the flat side of the trowel to produce solid contact with the substrate, and then comb additional mortar using the notch side of the trowel. Apply the DITRA fleece side down and solidly embed in the mortar using a float or the DITRA roller. When using the DITRA roller, place a weight on the shelf and slowly move the roller from one end of the matting to the other, slightly overlapping successive passes. Bags of thin-set mortar or grout or boxes of tile can be used as weight, provided the total weight is kept under 75 pounds. Make sure to observe the open time of the thin-set mortar. If the mortar skins over, remove and reapply fresh mortar before installing the membrane. The risk of skinning is increased when installing a longer run of DITRA. Applying the mortar and embedding the membrane in shorter sections will help avoid this problem. When bonding DITRA to particularly dry, porous concrete, the slab should be moistened to saturate the concrete and help prevent premature drying of the mortar. Excess or standing surface water must be removed prior to installation. Lift up a corner of the membrane to check coverage. Proper installation results in full contact between the fleece webbing and the thin-set mortar. Re-embed the membrane. Coverage may vary with mortar consistency, angle at which the trowel is held, membrane application, and other factors. If full coverage is not achieved, remove and reapply, making sure to observe proper installation techniques. For DITRA XL, use a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch square notch trowel or the DITRA Heat DITRA XL trowel, which features a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch square notch design. This process is repeated over the entire floor. Since we'll be installing a movement joint profile at the floor-to-wall transition, we need to cut the sill seal above the DITRA. Otherwise, we would leave the gasket in place until after the tile was set and grouted. The installation of the DITRA membrane is now complete. Floors can be made fully waterproof with DITRA if desired by sealing seams and floor-to-wall transitions with Schluter-Curdy waterproofing accessories. The Curdy accessories can be installed using any of our Schluter thin-set mortars or an unmodified thin-set mortar. The mortar is mixed to a fairly fluid consistency, but still able to hold a notch. A 1/4 inch by 3/16 inch V-notch trowel or the Schluter-Curdy trowel, which features a 1/8 inch by 1/8 inch square notch design, is used to apply the mortar. Apply thin-set mortar to the area where the Schluter-Curdy-Carrick corners are to be installed. Fill the cavities in the DITRA matting and comb additional mortar using the notched side of the trowel. Embed the Curdy-Carrick into the thin-set mortar using the flat side of the trowel or a drywall finishing knife. Corner installation may be simplified by holding one side of the corner in place while embedding the other side of the corner in the mortar. Schluter-Curdy band waterproofing strips are used to seal seams and floor-to-wall connections. The band may be creased prior to installation to help maintain tight corners and simplify subsequent tile setting. Apply thin-set mortar to the area where the Curdy band is to be installed. Embed the Curdy band in the thin-set mortar using the flat side of the trowel to ensure full coverage and remove air pockets. Note that a 2-inch overlap can be achieved at Curdy-Carrick corners without continuing the Curdy band all the way to the corner. This will limit buildup of the membrane in these areas. This process is repeated at remaining floor-to-wall transitions and DITRA seams. Always ensure that a minimum 2-inch overlap is achieved at all locations. The waterproofing application is now complete. Tile may be installed immediately over DITRA using any of our Schluter thin-set mortars or an unmodified thin-set mortar. We have already figured out our tile layout and have applied chalk lines to guide our installation. Hairspray helps ensure the chalk doesn't easily wipe off the membrane. The hairspray will not act as a bond breaker because the thin-set mortar is mechanically locked into the top of the membrane. Fill the cutback cavities with thin-set mortar. Then, comb additional mortar over the matting using a notched trowel that is appropriate for the size of the tile. Back-buttering large format tiles is a useful way to help ensure proper coverage. The skim coat can fill in the concave area on the back of the tile and improve contact with the mortar combed on the substrate. Solidly embed the tiles in the setting material, making sure to observe the open time of the mortar. Slide the tile back and forth to collapse the mortar ridges and transfer the mortar to the back of the tile. Periodically remove a tile to check coverage. Run a margin trowel through the bond coat and slide the tile before pulling up to avoid creating tension on the surface of the DITRA. This is especially important soon after the matting installation. Proper installation results in full coverage of the mortar to the back of the tile. Industry standard guidelines for ceramic tile require a minimum of 80% coverage in dry areas and 95% coverage in wet areas. Tile edges and corners must be fully supported. If sufficient coverage is not achieved, remove the tile and reapply, making sure to verify proper mortar consistency, application, and tile embedding techniques. Consider back-buttering large format tiles. Continue setting the remaining tile. Profiles are a useful tool to enhance any floor tile installation. DITRA does not eliminate the need for movement joints within the tile covering. This includes perimeter joints at restraining surfaces, such as walls. As an alternative to sealant, Schluter-Dialex movement joint profiles accommodate movement and protect tile edges, resulting in a permanent, maintenance-free installation. Dialex EKE creates a discrete, uniform joint at floor-to-wall transitions. Dialex BWS matches common grout joint widths and is available in a variety of colors, allowing it to blend into the tile field. Because ceramic and stone tiles are inherently brittle, their exposed edges can chip and crack if left unprotected. Transitions between floor surfaces and at thresholds are particularly vulnerable to damage. Schluter-Systems offers a variety of floor profiles to provide edge protection and transitions at thresholds and between adjacent surfaces. For example, Schluter-Reno TK is designed to provide a smooth transition from tile coverings to floor coverings at lower elevations, typically carpet. Wall profiles like Schluter-Rondec or Quadec make it possible to create a tile base using field tiles without ceramic trim. This simple approach increases the utility of the room and produces a clean, finished appearance. Ceramic and stone tiles are the ideal surface coverings because they're beautiful, durable, hygienic, and easy to maintain. However, the long-term performance of the covering depends on the installation method. The integration of Schluter-DITRA's uncoupling, waterproofing, vapor management, and support functions ensures consistent success over common tile substrates. With over 25 years as the industry leader in uncoupling technology, Schluter-Systems remains committed to providing innovative solutions for floor tile applications that meet the needs of the installer.